it's been a while since we've been on, or I've been on, or anyone's been on. So it's good to be back. Kind of had to rethink things, and I don't know about reformatting. To kind of reformat how we're gonna do this. So it's me, and I'm gonna have guests on as much as I possibly can. We're gonna get to that here in a little bit. So just kind of catch everyone up on a few things that have been going on. I did, I had a job that I was starting at the end of last year that I had to kind of put some efforts and concentration into to get that going. Some pretty uh, decent injuries that I am still waiting on a couple things to find out. I had so last week I had stents placed in 2 veins to open those up because they were being collapsed, and so that was a big thing that I had to get done. And I've had X-rays on my hip to kind of see what the issue is there. But so I took some time off of lifting, took time off of everything, went into a nice depressed state to come back and be revitalized and be happy to be back in the gym this last week, getting some little bits of work in. Definitely sore from just the stupid little workouts I've done. Have really kicked my ass, but it is good to be back. So that's just kind of the brief lowdown on what's been going on in my neck of the woods. As always, we want everyone to go and check out generalleathercraft.com. Our friends at Pioneer Lifting got everything for you. The best belts that you can find for powerlifting, general weightlifting, as well as wraps and straps and all the good stuff. They got some good apparel coming out as well. Anything you can't get there that you need for lifting, you can go to maxbarbell.com. Go ahead and check them out there. They have singlets there. That's where we get ours that I print on. They have socks, everything else that you can possibly think of. Make sure you get at our Instagram at industry_strength co is the Instagram page. That's where I'm coming from. It's my gym. It's where I'm broadcasting out of. And anytime you're in the Grand Junction, Western Slope area, make sure you swing by. We also got some big plans coming up this summer for that. For the show and everything having to do with the show, it's at lifting_ugly on Instagram, or search lifting ugly anywhere and you can find it. I promise you can find it. It'll have this lovely background I was able to get back here. It'll have some of the other logos, such as on the hat. You'll know it when you see it. And then for all things Lifting Ugly, go to liftingugly.com. You get shirts, sweatshirts, hats, shorts, coaching if you want coaching. I do have some clients, and so if you want to sign up for any online coaching, you can do that there. Any one-time donations, if you are a fan of the show and want to keep me motivated to keep doing it, then that's the way to do it. Other ways, you can go to patreon.com/liftingugly, and you can sign up as a subscriber there. So with all that said, we're going to get started with a brief little intro. All right. Once again, everyone, welcome back to the Lifting Ugly podcast. So one of the things that I did in the off time is I created a small Lifting Ugly team comprised of some strongmen, some powerlifting, and just, cool people that I wanted to be involved with and bring on that have been supporting through the process. So I want to give back a little bit and help out where I can as much as I possibly can. So first up, we have, so I guess I should, so what I decided to do, I'm going to bring on every one of our team members, just so everyone can get to know who they are. And then each one of them, make sure you follow them and get on board with them as well. And I think you'll like the stuff that they post and the stuff that they have to do with. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on my guest for today. She is a strong man woman. She has been she's kind of crushing the little over a year that I've known her. She's been putting up huge numbers, and every event she does gets bigger and bigger. She might be one of the smallest, strong people that you see, but don't let that fool you because she'll still kick your ass. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Kim Scott.
Hello. That was
Thank
such
you.
a nice intro.
Did you like
I
that?
did. Thank you.
So I'm gonna toot my own horn here a little bit.
Okay.
I did not prepare that at all.
Wow. It was very natural. I loved it.
Sweet. So you just got to find things that you can get by with, and kind of bullshitting my way through a conversation. I've always been very good at.
It's perfect.
We're good. All right. So most people don't know, and just because. So we started chatting a little bit over a year ago.
Yep.
Right. It was before. I don't remember what the event was called.
Crown Mountain.
The Crown Mountain. That's right.
That was
Uh,
Deep Ocean. Yep.
yes. So you were getting ready to do that, and the first thing I learned about you is your love for Chick-fil-A.
It's very deep. It's very serious. Yes. Mhm.
So what makes Chick-fil-A superior to any other chicken in the fast food industry, in your
Um,
eyes?
it's the flavor for me. Like it's chicken. It's good. It tastes like chicken. Like KFC's all breading. Popeyes is a ton of seasoning, which is fine, but it's not that authentic chicken flavor.
Gotcha.
I'm a
I'm not.
purist.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just wanted to get your take on it. And then she was highly disappointed to find out that she was missing out on Chick-fil-A leading up to that because she still weighed in, or they had to push her. You didn't weigh in heavy.
I ended up doing a weight cut for 8 weeks. I dropped 12 pounds and I did all of this. I gave up all my favorite carbs, all my favorite foods. I had to do cardio, which I never do, all to get there to weigh in. And I was the only lightweight woman that made weight. So that means they combined you with the next weight class, which is middleweight, which is where I would have lived very happy at.
With lots of Chick-fil-A and
Lots of Chick fil A. So that was very sad. But I immediately got Chick fil A, so it was fine.
And don't let her fool you when she says she doesn't do cardio. If you go, I have listed on the little ticker down here, her Instagram is at Strongman Kim Squats with a Z at the end.
Yes.
And there you can see the cardio that she actually does do, although it is strength involved. There's a lot of running and a lot of swinging of shit all over the place.
That's true. Yeah, it's like a joke. Cardio and strongman. The goal is to be done as fast as you possibly can. Like no long duration. Just go hard, fast, and be done.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah, just all you need is little bits of it, just spurts of energy to get through everything.
That's it. 60 to 90 seconds, and you want to be done before that.
And then you're done after that.
For a while.
So one other thing, if you go to her Instagram page, which again I suggest you do, you'll find that she owns the world's cutest rabbit.
I do.
So what's the rabbit's name?
His name is Brown Sugar. We call him Big Shug. He is a mini Holland Lop, but I think that's a lie because he's not mini. He's like this big, and minis like fit in your hand, so that's not true. He's just a Holland Lop.
Maybe you just need bigger hands.
It could be that. I do have.
All right. So yesterday, you train, and let's give a plug to everyone else that deserves it. You train out of Iron Mountain. Is that
Iron Titan?
Iron Titan. Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know why Iron Mountain am I.
You combined my first comp. It's all good.
There you go. Iron Titan Gym where's that located?
It's I think it's considered Denver, but it's really off of Evans Boulevard. You can take 25 all the way to Evans, get off at Evans, literally keep driving straight, and it's boop, right there. Like you can't miss it.
And then it's mainly strongman or strongman powerlifting or a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything. We have everybody. We have powerlifters, strongman, bodybuilders. We have Olympic lifters. We have some CrossFitters that come in. Everybody can train there. We have the largest amount of shit ever in the world.
That's great. And so who's your coach?
Terry Rady.
Okay. So
Yes.
everything you see her do and everything you hear her talk about, he's the man pulling the strings behind the
That's the
curtain.
guy.
All
Yep.
right. And
Yep.
then you're also sponsored by Kratos Strength Equipment.
Yes. Yes. And we actually got to hang out with a lot of the Kratos family and Andrew himself at Iowa this past weekend. So that was really nice to see everybody.
So those are the other things you should check out. Make sure you check out
Yes.
Iron Titan. What is it? So it's just, I think it's just at Iron Titan is if you
Yes.
go on Instagram, and then it's at Kratos
At
Strength
Kratos
Equipment,
Strength Equipment. Yep.
right? And
Yep.
you can check them out on Instagram as well. Both are worth a check. Make sure you check them out. Definitely
Yes.
worth it.
Please do.
All right, so we're gonna go backwards to
Okay.
forward and then backwards. So yesterday you guys had a giant truck pull.
We did. We were
And
testing an event, so that's going to be an event at the Shamrock Showdown 3 at Iron Titan in March. So Justin, the owner, he brought in I guess it's like a concrete dump truck. I don't know what the different classifications of dump trucks are.
right.
And it's like 26,000 pounds. So, I mean, immediately we're like, okay, the men will probably do that, but the women probably won't touch it. And we ended up moving it very well. So that was a really big surprise, a good one. So I think all weight classes now will be doing that truck.
Nice. So the videos that were shown, like when it was you by yourself or any of the other people that were by themselves, there was no assistance by the truck.
No, there's a driver in there to work the brakes,
Right.
but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just in neutral, and I mean, you guys were moving it pretty good.
So there's an incline. We very much learned. Obviously, downhill is a good time. Like
Right.
as long as you take the first step, the momentum just carries you the rest of the way. Uphill's a bad time. Real bad time.
And then some tandem work I saw that looked a little looked a little messy.
You know what? Like it was a good idea on paper, but looking back on it, we should have swapped the couples to be in line with each other instead of next to utilize the guide rope together. But nobody wanted their husband's butt in their face, and that was my reasoning.
You know, with as supportive as your husband is, then I think it's only fair that you would line up behind him and just take
one.
Yeah, right. It's for the good of the sport.
It's true. Yeah, I think it would have been better if we did that way. But
So
I'll see lets us borrow the truck again.
So I did one truck pull, and it was I think it was like a 3/4 ton pickup with a trailer and a side by side on the back to try and get the weight up. And I was like, I didn't warm up because I'm not, it's why warm up when you can do it cold.
We don't warm up.
Right. So I jumped in there and I was having a hard time and I couldn't figure out why until I watched the video back and realized the guy that was pulling the rope wasn't pulling it out from underneath my feet. And so I was like stepping and then shuffling my feet, and so I had a hard time.
Choppy steps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You need to have like Flintstone feet for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I did it a second time, and it moved a lot better. But
yeah,
that it definitely takes it out of you really fast.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like the quad and glute pump from that. I was like, yeah,
We'll just do all that instead of doing all the other nonsense for hands and glutes.
Yeah, we did that. I think I did that 3 times and was like, yeah, good day.
It's enough. Okay, and then we'll go back to the weekend before, right? That was when you were in Iowa?
Yes.
And what was the event in Iowa?
So the comp in Iowa it's Bricktown Showdown. I'm coming to learn it's an annual event. I believe this was year 2 or 3 for it. It's one of the larger pro division shows for USS, and why it's a big deal is where it's located. So there's not a ton of big shows and big opportunities for like local Midwesterners, to come out and try to get their pro card. So for USS, you can enter a pro division show. And if you podium, I believe you're offered a contract as a pro, like right then and there. I'm not sure though if you have to win once or twice. I'm not clear on. But I went to this show because it's not weight class, which is great. I don't have to cut. And it had a max axle clean and press. I had a huge fear of that, and I needed to get over that. And I signed up for this competition specifically for that. because there was no way I was going to go zero that in another state in a huge, giant competition. So I was like, we're doing this. It's therapy. It's going to go great.
So so let's go over the events and kind of and where you landed in all those.
Yes. All right. So I can tell you right now, I was dead last in everything. No shame in it either. At weigh-ins the day before, the woman was really nice. She was like, just so you know, you're the smallest female here by like 40 to 50 pounds, except for one other girl. And I was like, no, I know. This is not about my pro card. This is about me performing when I need to perform and using my confidence and my skills in the gym in an actual competition setting. So it's all for me. The first event went awesome. It was the clean and press. That was the one that I was afraid of. That was the one that I need to get off my plate. I opened up at a very conservative 150. Absolutely nailed it. Honestly, like could have thrown it backwards on the lockout. Then I went and matched my gym PR 165 on my second attempt. It was ridiculously smooth. Willie, the chair for USS, was actually my judge. And when I locked the 165 out, he was like, if you don't put more weight on the bar on your next attempt, I'm going to zero. Like, so I walked over to the judge and I was like, all right, 180, like just YOLO. Just add 15 more pounds on the third attempt. And it was delicious. Like when I got it from my belt to my front rack and my elbows just like came right through and I was like, oh, this is going to go up so fast. Yeah. So it was a 15-pound PR in a comp on something I was definitely afraid of. So like after that, I was good.
That was the only thing that you were, that was like the reason you were there.
Yeah, that was it. And it's like, you conquered it. Cool. The rest of the afternoon now, go have fun. Do shit that you've never done before.
Right.
So then the next one was sandbag over bar. I hate it, but I like it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I hate that we're judged on a throwing event. I think I just don't see the application in like the strongman world. Like, oh, like I throw a bag of sand over my head. Neat. Like, I don't know.
Right.
But I can also just be spicy about it because I'm not awesome. So could be that. The only goal here was to finish. I didn't finish. I'm not mad about that though, because I got to the 35 bag. And historically, I have never been able to get to the 35-pound bags in a competition because I will screw up my 30-pound throw and I will lose all composure and have a bitch fit. And that ruins my event. I did the same thing in Iowa, but I did not have a fit. I brushed it off, moved on, and did it. Like, so again, mental win too. The third event,
on the sandbag event, yes. It was a progression?
Yes.
So you had was it a time?
20. Okay. Yeah. So 6 bags total, 2 20s, 25s, 30s, and 35s. 6 bags is a lot on a throw event. It's usually like 4. So when I saw 6, it was like, ooh.
And then you have X amount of time to get those all over. Is that right? Okay.
And it's a timed event. I think we had 60 seconds, and I believe the height was 13 feet.
Okay.
I think.
And usually it ranges from what, like 12 to 15?
Yeah. So women are traditionally at 11 feet. Like if you're a middleweight, lightweight competitor, the heavier girls will be at 13. 13 is usually like max for chicks. Guys are 13 to 15 as well. And then they always do like the 4 height events too. It's just more interesting for the men, I think.
Well, unfortunately, they don't. Well, I think
you guys just have more up.
Well, we're usually longer, and you can create a little bit more momentum. But if you bring that up, what's cool about the strongman world specifically is over the last few years, I've noticed they've become a lot more, I guess, embracing of the female strongmen.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
And not only be embracing it, but actually propelling them to be more in the forefront.
Yeah, women are getting like more professional shots. Like they're getting invited to World's Strongest Man. There was World's Ultimate Strongman in Dubai that had women in it for the first time. Like that's never happened. Like I remember being a kid watching the old ESPNs of like the guys, and like my kids could watch like the old stream, and it's like, dude, there's chicks doing this. So it's really historical right now.
It is. It's really cool to see, and it may not be fun for everyone to watch, but as somebody that's in the strength industry,
Yeah.
I love watching when women really just excel.
Yeah.
It's just so cool to see. It's cool to see when anyone does. When someone
Yeah.
does things that are just so bizarre and are so good at it, it's really fun to watch. And then being able to see women push to the into the limelight for it is really cool.
That's
I've enjoyed
honestly
that.
like that's how I meet most of the people I meet when I go to like out of town shows. Is like after the show, like it happened in Iowa. I'll have people approach me like, I just need you to know like you're one of my favorite people to watch today, and I'm always like really touched. And it's like really like what's up? They're like you're the smallest person out there, but like you're just happy and you're doing it. And I'm like yeah, like I want to I want somebody from like the stands to identify and be like, oh well, if she can do that, then I could totally hang
Right.
it. And you
Right.
can.
Why can't I train and do something like that?
Yes.
You,
Yeah.
you know, you watch a Brian Shaw or those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not all 6'10", 400 pounds and super athletic. So we need people that give hope to
Yeah.
the average built person.
And then like, I'll have my kids or something with me and they're like, oh, you have 2 kids? And then I'll be like, and I work full time. They're like, what? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. So after sandbag.
Yeah. Iowa State stone carry. So this one was a little scary because I hadn't actually trained with the actual implement. If there's anything you'll know about me, if I don't have the stuff to train on, I immediately like freak out. I'm like, all right, we got to buy this. Someone's building that. Like I have to have it. I'm a little bit of a diva in that way. My husband loves it. I hope.
Yeah.
So
he'll pretend anyway.
Yeah, he's poor. So I've only trained with a Husafell stone. Like that's what I have. I'm very comfortable with those. I can easily walk 250 pounds with a Husa for a little while. Like it's all good. But this Iowa stone is like twice of me. Like it's like from my head to like my belly button, basically. But it's this way.
Oh,
and
geez.
Not many of the girls have ever gotten to see it. So we're like in the warm-up area, and all of us are just like, okay. So like we're all warming up, and one of like the bigger guys is there, and I was like, hey, come here. Like, how would you pick this up? And he's like, oh, Iowa has like a little piece that juts out, forearm under that, left arm under this. And I'm like, that's okay, perfect. So we all did that. No one died. I scared the shit out of my spotter. Like he turned white, but it's okay.
So what? Okay. So explain why that happened.
The spotter. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody all weekend was amazing. There was this one guy. He was a little bit smaller, dark hair, and I don't think he had ever done like a strongman show or like he was just like volunteering. Like we love these people. And when I walked out on the floor to do the stone, I was like I always talk to my spotters like, hey, just a heads up. I've never done this. I was like, I've never picked this up. I've never walked it. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. So like, just be aware. And this guy goes white and he's like, what do you mean? Like, what could happen? And I was like, don't let me die. Like, that's it. Like, just get it off, like, push it off my chest, catch me, do something. He's like, all right, like, he's shitting himself. He's like, we have to have, okay. So there's another guy there that ended up being my back spotter. If you watch my video, you'll see him. They switch positions. So that's the more important guy. Will save your life. And by the time I had turned to make my third turn, I think for over 100 feet, I just remember like spitting my mouth guard out and screaming, dun, 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 dun. So he could grab me and they could like throw the stone. And I'm like, that worked out really well. Thank you.
So everyone survived.
Everyone survived. We made a crucial spotter change and everyone walked away just smiling.
That's what matters most.
That's what matters most. Yeah.
So that was supposed to be for 150 feet?
So it was a disgusting max event, and they made it twisted by the fact that they removed the time limit, which means there's guys there that went well over 2 minutes where you're like, who like hurt you? First of all.
Right.
that you're doing that. But when they remove the time cap, it gets really interesting because there are people there that will die
And
of
so
the best.
this isn't the final event either. So
Nope.
this is
This is
an,
3 of 5.
an untimed event with still two
An
more events to
untimed
follow.
max.
Yeah, that's okay. That's mean.
When I tell you, my butt and like lower back was just like, really? We still have 2 more events? Cool. Awesome. All right. Yeah. So 4th event came up, and that was the lever deadlift.
Okay,
I
which
touched that
is
time.
what's a lever deadlift?
So it's like, I can't explain it. Like it's like okay, think of a telephone pole, and it's like laying down,
Okay.
and it has different pulls, and
Oh, okay.
so like you have to pull it this way, but it's obviously nearly impossible here because you got to pull all the way.
Right. So yeah, it's all about the angles, and
It's
I
almost
did.
a
Yeah, I did watch somebody do that. They had posted a video that was just ridiculously insane, and I was about to throw up just watching it.
oh,
The effort.
like the first 3 to 4, you're like, I'm incredible. Like I'm so powerful. It's ridiculous that there's anybody even on this floor with me. And then you get to the second to the last one, and like you're like, oh, okay. All right, there it is. And then you get to the last one and it doesn't move. And you're like, I don't understand where I've gone wrong. Like, I
Right.
don't quit. I'll just stop training. I don't get
it. This isn't for me, obviously.
Obviously,
Too
isn't
much for
for
me to handle.
me. I need to get a different skill. Okay, yeah. And on the side of the implement in Iowa, I noticed it before we all took the floor. Somebody wrote on it the humbler, and I was like, cool, awesome. It's going to go really well then. Perfect. Yeah.
We have an incline press machine in our gym. Ooh. that has a similar. It's called the Great White.
Okay.
It's one of those ones where I'll put people on that are really cocky. And I'm like, hey, let's jump on this incline press. How many plates you want on there? I'll throw a couple on each side, easy. And I'm like, you sure? Yeah. All right, cool. And then, and I'm like, you still want 2?
You want me to take or no?
Yeah. So those are always fun. Those are fun instruments. So what's the weight on the end? Or do you know the weights throughout, or just is there like a weight?
And I forget. So it's 245s, and I believe they were 10s. Okay. And they were saying that backhand or the handles were like anywhere from 425, 65 pounds up to 515.
Oh, okay.
So that would have been an outrageous amount of weight. I mean, I hovered it. It left the floor, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, in the angle, because it's like you're lifting. It's like you're not deadlifting, so you're not pulling it straight up.
No.
You're pulling it back.
It's like a front handle car deadlift.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like actively trying to slip away from you.
I did try the car deadlift at the Crown Mountain, so that does make sense to me now. Yes.
Because you have to be almost falling backwards.
Yeah. And then hope that your grip keeps you alive.
Correct. Oh yeah, I switched it. Like I did because the handle. That's the other thing.
The handle. Oh, okay.
You have to and then like some of the bigger guys, again, they have juicy quads and butts. Right. They're like getting in between this implement, and they're just like, that's what they look like because they can't fit. Yeah.
Oh, that's be fun to watch.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
So that was okay. So that's after a murderous stone carry. Then you get to do that, and then what do they top you off with?
Top us off with a good old stone load with a twist.
With a twist, of course. That could be normal.
Oh, God forbid. No, that's ridiculous. We can't absolutely. No one has a CNS yet, so let's make it harder.
That's right.
So traditionally, women's height, like the highest a woman will load to is 48 inches. And then from there, it'll go to like 40. And then men will be like 50. This one was like, hey, how about starting at 56 inches? All of us. Okay. All right.
So just,
it's roughly one of me.
Yeah.
My lower lip.
That you have to get a stone up, pushed up,
Yeah.
and up onto.
So like basically because the stone weights weren't horrible because I guess they didn't want
You have
anybody
to
to
go so
die.
high, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm my first stone was body weight. So that one's fine because like you just quick and then you just push it up with your face. Like I just used the bottom of my chin, rolled it right up.
Yeah, what do you need that for?
Huh?
What do you need that for? Just
Yeah, no, this
what?
is like it's a tool. No,
It's
this is a tool.
it's a lifting implement.
It's a lifting implement. This is where the log sits. Like it's important. You gotta have that. And then the next stone was like 160 to like 54, which wasn't any better, really, than 56. And then 52 for 170. And then I got stuck at 50. So super mad about it though, because it's only like, I think it was like 210-pound stone, maybe 210, 225. I don't remember. I can load a 225 stone to 48, fine. Like I've done it. It's fine. 50, I broke the ground. I got it. I got it high, 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 high. Again, if you go on my Instagram, you can see it's the stone picture that I posted is me running out of up. Like I'm triple extension. I'm on my toes. I am beautiful. And I'm just like, that's it. That's all I got. Yeah. So I'm mad that I didn't get to try the 250 because I didn't progress past the 225. But
So
okay.
what you ultimately the moral of the story is 2 inches is a lot.
It is 2 inches is a lot. Mm-hmm. So
So,
sorry, anyone who
yeah.
thinks different, you're wrong.
Don't let them beat you down like that.
Don't let them beat you down because 2 inches is a lot. Okay, like I ran out of up at that point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I know the videos and the pictures that you posted. It looks, I mean, all those events look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
if I was, like, I mean, I've told Jack and the guys that I know here
Yeah.
that train, if I was in better condition, it would definitely be something I'd be interested in doing. I just don't have that. I can't. I don't have the movement in my knees and shoulders and to get those movements down. But I do
I
enjoy
totally,
watching.
yeah,
I,
like it. This stuff, like this is the least sport that hurts me the most. If that makes sense. Like it doesn't. This one doesn't hurt the way CrossFit hurt. I did CrossFit for years. That hurt. This is different. But
yeah,
like the joint, like that's a thing. Like you
yeah.
gotta,
You have to have
you
some
gotta be good.
mobility. Yeah, it's yeah. So I've done a few different things as to kind of help with just conditioning, or if I'm like, oh well, that's something I can actually, like, I can pull a truck.
Yeah.
Because, well, back then I was using stuff that worked. I couldn't do it now. I think my
So
leg would fall off, but otherwise it's
that
normally
well,
something.
maybe don't do that.
Yeah. All right, so that was your last event. Are you officially a pro strongman?
I'm not.
You're
I'm
not.
not a pro. I actually get asked that a lot, and I kind of avoid going for the pro thing because it kind of limits like your ability. Like if you become a pro, you can't do local stuff, and like I couldn't,
Oh, okay.
I couldn't compete with my friends, and I could like that's a huge part of it for me. Is the community, and like my husband and I have talked about it, and he's just like I'm afraid that if you lost that drive, to keep doing it, he's like then you're right back to being stuck at home, and this is a huge outlet for me. So I think it worries me that I would limit myself with a
And
pro
the
status.
potential of losing the passion of what kind of
Yeah,
has brought you to where you are.
yeah, it's kind of
It's,
it's weird. It's like a fear of success. I don't know.
it,
Yeah,
that is a thing. That's for
it's a
sure.
thing. Yeah, and like I'm just having a blast popping into these like pro shows and stuff. Like they're so cool.
You at least see where you stand and what compared to everyone
Yeah,
else. And,
I learned the most there. Like it's the most challenging there. Like that's how I learn how to be an athlete and how to compete. And I love that.
all right, so now we're gonna backtrack.
Okay.
All right, so let's start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about who you are. Let's start with where you came from.
Okay. I'm born and raised in the East Coast. I'm from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Northeast. I have lived there my entire life up until my daughter was 2. So 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. We moved
So,
to Colorado.
so you're an Eagles fan,
Yes.
as
The birds.
I see. So that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is I grew up in Southern California, and I am your cross-state rival fan. So
Oh,
I am a Steeler fan. Have been since
that's really unfortunate.
since since the Rams left Los Angeles in the
Yeah.
mid '90s. So there's because everyone's like, how'd you become a Steelers fan? Rams left
Yes.
Los Angeles, went to St. Louis. I was pissed off, not going to follow them. So I followed Jerome Bettis and Kevin Green over to Pittsburgh.
Classic.
Uh, Loved not Mike Tomlin, Bill Cowher,
Yeah.
and how he was as a coach, and just then our whole family's just kind of stuck as Steelers fans. I
It's
enjoy,
predictable, but
yeah. I'm not. I don't dislike the Eagles,
sure.
so I'll say that. I loved him when Andy Reid and
No one
um,
likes us. We don't care. It's in us
right.
all.
Well, yeah, just go to any Philadelphia sporting event and they
Yes.
boo Santa Claus and
We threw batteries at them.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Why wouldn't you throw
Why
batteries
would
at Santa
you?
Claus?
Why would you?
Only
Yeah.
in Philadelphia is that going to
Only in
happen.
Philadelphia.
They're like the most diehard, worst fans that there are on the
Yeah.
planet.
We're terrible. Yeah. And we love it, which is, I
Right.
think, worse.
All right. So born and raised, married, started your family all in the Philadelphia area.
Yes.
So what?
Literally 2 blocks away from my childhood home. Yes.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So what brought you to Colorado then?
My husband's job. He was working for a plant in Pennsylvania, and they're like, "Hey, you're doing a really good job here, but we're going to close this and then move you to Colorado." And we're like, "Oh, all right." And I was at home at the time. My daughter was like 18-ish months, and my son was just newly born. So wasn't like I had a career or anything like holding me back. Definitely nervous about leaving something about East Coasters. We don't ever leave. Like we just don't. There's actually no other part of the U.S. It's just the East
Just
Coast.
there, that's right.
So even thinking about moving to Colorado, I'm like, how many days would that take by plane? My husband's like, are you serious? Like, what? Yeah. So that was very scary, but one of the best decisions we ever made.
So you said about 9 years you guys have been here.
Yeah.
So husband still works for the same company, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
well, good. And so then, what have you always been into fitness? Has it
Yes.
always been something? Okay.
It's always been a thing for me. I was always in sports. I played softball, travel softball, and Division I softball my entire life. Actually, until the year after I got married, when I got pregnant with our daughters, when I stopped playing softball.
Okay.
And then I played again, bar leagues and stuff. But softball was a passion. I learned, the very basics of like strength training there. As like teenage girls, like we use soup cans and do wrist curls. So I actually had really good conditioning. Like I could run miles and just like, oh, I should go to track and be a track star. And I played field hockey and all these like super lean, long endurance sports, which looking back, I'm like, why would I do that?
You don't know any. You don't know any better at the
I
time.
don't know any better. No, and I always had like a lot of aggression, like playing in sports. Like, field hockey, I would get yellow carded for hitting or whatever. And softball, I would get stuff called for like talking shit or something. And, like that's just like who I am. And one day, I found a sport for that, strongman, and was like, oh, all right, I could be aggressively mean here. Perfect.
Right, and you're not taking it out on somebody else.
Right.
se.
That doesn't deserve it.
That's right. You take it out on yourself.
I take it out on myself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see. So right now, so as I'm 6 foot, 280 some pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 12 years of my life playing soccer, of all things.
I wouldn't know. Like that doesn't make sense.
So
do that.
Right. So I get what you're saying. And I was in my high school years of, I played high school football like everyone. Similar mentality is what you're talking about. As soon as I put like football pads on, like the niceness of anything that I had going was completely gone.
Oh, I have to
Um,
kill someone. Yep.
and then it happened with soccer as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have broken bones of other people under my belt, of all things. I did a slide tackle on a kid, broke his leg.
Slide tackle right to the
Yeah.
shin. Ooh.
I folded his leg in half on one of those. And then another one, because so even when I was like high school age and I was playing, I was still the same height I am now. So I was still 6 foot. And when I played football, I was 190 some pounds. So the other kids playing soccer are mid 5 foot, 120 pounds. So my mom, she still laughs about it to this day, because there were so many points. I almost got into fights with kids' parents because their parents would be yelling from the stands, talking shit. And I would just be like, fucking come get it.
Come on,
like,
then.
And she said there were, and I don't remember a lot because I have a terrible memory, but she's like, you would stand just flat out, just turn and look at them and be like, let's go.
I could see
and
that.
then they're like, and I'm like, come on, bitch, let's go. And so then I didn't get stuff called. That was done to me. So I was going down the field and this kid was like just kicking my legs as I was trying to get by him. And the ref's right there. I kind of glanced.
It looked like you're gonna.
I was like, all right, motherfucker. So I kicked the ball ahead. I let him go ahead. And as soon as he's about to get the ball, I just kick his legs out from underneath him. And then this is where like my blackout moment came. Just for good measure, while he was on the ground, I fucking just whipped my leg, just kicked him right in the ribs. And so I got suspended for the rest of the season because I broke 3 of his ribs. And it's soccer's supposed to be non-contact.
But that's the stuff, though. Like, it wasn't even that. Like, it wasn't even like him that you're like. It's a situational thing. Like,
right.
I need somewhere that when I turn to red, I need to do something about that doesn't inflict harm over here. Yeah.
Right. And this and I do the same. So I do the same thing to myself in the gym, obviously, as well, which is why I am constantly recovering from injuries, is because something hurts and I'm like,
I'm gonna kill it.
I was like, you son of a bitch, why? I'm going to show my body. I'm going to do this even heavier. And then I do it. And I'm like, yeah, see, I told you. And I'm like, fuck.
I can't walk now.
Yeah, right. So I'm very similar to you in that way. I've had to teach myself when playing like recreational sports how to
not be up here.
Yeah. The last straw, I'll tell this is a good story. Last straw, I was playing church basketball.
Okay.
Of course, because that's where most
wrong, honestly.
Right. So many things go wrong in church sports. So I think it was 18 or 19. I think it was 19 at that point. I was playing, and I guess I should backtrack a little bit. The only class that I ever fully got through in college was my PE officiating class. So I knew officiating. I knew how to officiate every sport. Learned it through a college course and everything. So I knew how I was supposed to go. Yeah. So they actually had me at the beginning of this season tell the guys who were going to be reffing. And so my biggest thing was like, look, this is fun. Just let things go unless it's going to be damaging. Everyone's here, just have fun. Yes. And then gave them the basic rundown. So I was playing, they're reffing, they're calling just every stupid little thing. And I got pissed and I hit the padded wall. I just punched it. And then, so these 3 bones dislocated out of my wrist, of all things.
How? Like, just, oh my God.
So like I went out, obviously I got kicked out of the game. So I went outside. And this is when I still lived in California, and my mom was luckily visiting at the time. And I went out to my car and I was trying to I was pushing them on like the car, trying to get them back in. Yeah. They would not reset. So I was like sitting inside and I was just sitting there. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? My mom comes out and she said, how bad is it? And I showed her and she's like, let's go.
You gotta hustle now. I'm just saying.
I had a PA holding on to my fingers. And then I had another guy hold on to my body and they just pulled until And after that time, I was like, I should probably try and control this a little bit
Something I
better.
should change something here.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, not that I necessarily do change it much because I still inflict the pain on myself, but at least I learned not to take it out on other people.
See, and that makes it better.
It's
It
a
makes
win,
it
win-win.
fine. Yeah.
All right, so you've always been into sports and athletics and everything. So when you said you did CrossFit before you started,
Yeah, so I did CrossFit when we first moved to Colorado. I met like some other mom friends that had kids roughly around my kids' age, and there's like a little daycare that all the kids could hang out in. So I was like, all right, like I'll give that a shot. Terrible at it. Man, am I bad at CrossFit? Had a big passion for it though. I mean, it was fun. I was
so
also like, very
so you
small, much smaller back then too.
you fell in love with the cult,
I did.
but
Drank the Kool-Aid.
but
Yep.
couldn't quite get to that level.
No, like I just, I did one of those, like, what is it called when I'm in the open, like you sign up, you can do the online open or whatever, and you
Uh,
do like the Friday Night Lights at the box. Like I did that for like a year and was like, oh hell yeah. And then was like, man, I'm just not good at gymnastics remotely at all. But like max days, I can bench more than the girls. I can back squat with the guys back squat. I could deadlift what the guys are deadlifting. And like that part didn't make sense to anybody in the gym because
mm,
that's not how that's supposed to work. So then we had a strength demo. A local gym owner came over to like show strongman off, and he rolled in Atlas stones and he brought a log and an axle, and I was like, what's that? And that was it. Like I didn't do CrossFit after that. I switched to strength training. No more fucking like what are they burpee box jumps or some shit. None of
right.
that. No, I don't do those. I do EMOMs and things like that, but they're with stones and axles. So.
So you figured out that you're not good at lifting badly.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's a
need you.
crazy.
So you need form and structure in your lifts.
I had technique and form, and they were like, "Get out with that,
Yeah,
please. I
you.
hate it."
This is not the place for you. This is a place for swinging shit around
That's
and
right.
weird body movements.
Bouncing deadlifts,
Yes,
just
yeah. For no reason whatsoever, just for the fun of throwing a bar down.
yep, dropping them
Well,
from the top, not riding the eccentric back down. It's a sacrilege at this point, but yeah.
well, I'm glad that you made that switch because I would, you would definitely wouldn't be here today
I don't think
because
I could.
there's definitely not there's not a CrossFit athlete that I'm looking at being involved with. So like some of the shit that don't get me wrong, they do some crazy
Yes.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the ones that are good
Yeah.
are impressive.
Yes.
But the way they push people into it
Yeah.
is terrible because they take a mom and okay, we're gonna work on these weird just just flinging shit around in their
Yeah.
body you and what
Coaching.
right and yeah here's our wad.
Yep. Yeah.
Well how do I do that stuff? Well, just watch everyone else. It's like,
Just
well,
watch everyone else, or like
yeah,
that quick 8 minute before the WOD starts, like you're testing stuff. You're like, oh, I guess that's a snatch.
yeah,
Okay.
but you don't know if you're moving you don't know if you're doing it properly.
Yeah.
And so there's been so many injuries.
My shoulders stayed injured. They stayed injured in CrossFit. Like, and I like moved my arm over here. Like, yeah, that was my most constant injury with CrossFit was
shoulder. I worked at a hospital for a little while, and there was just a couple of them went through CrossFit, but one anesthesiologist, he was like, "Oh yeah, I started working out at the CrossFit gym." Blah blah. blah. I said, "Aren't you a doctor?" He said,
you need your arms.
"He's like, well, yeah." I was like, "Shouldn't you know better?"
Yeah.
What do you mean? I said, "You're gonna get hurt." Oh no, it's great. It feels great. I'm like, all right, man. I'm telling you, you're not conditioned to do that work. I said, you're gonna get. And it was probably 3 months later he was getting shoulder surgery because he had fucked up his shoulder so bad.
Yeah. It's like everyone that walks in there, we all have like KT tape, like protecting our shoulders. I'm like, this sucks. Why do I keep doing this? Yeah.
Right. There's got to be, and I imagine in like the top of the line gyms, there's like beginner courses so you can learn the
Yeah.
proper way to improperly lift.
Yeah.
Like this is how you improperly lift this weight to stay safe. But yeah, anyone that I've ever been to and I've seen a program,
Yep.
like people walking off the street, okay, we're doing this, okay, we're doing this, and it's okay. Well, what if I don't know how to do this?
Right.
Like I went through one just to kind of see what the deal was, and I did everything the way, and that was when I was bodybuilding. So I just did
Mhm.
it. I did it all my straight work. So the kettlebell stuff was like strict movements instead of this sweeping,
It's like
swinging.
yeah, it's those
So
blow up guys outside the car dealerships.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yep, those are
yeah,
CrossFitters.
that's it.
CrossFitters waving you in.
It's fun too because we have a couple crossover CrossFitters at our gym. Like they started out and they're coming over, to Strongman, and I watched them back squat, and I'm like, why do you bounce like out?
Oh yeah,
That it's like the butt wink, but then it bounces back up, and I'm like,
right.
are you fine?
Yeah, it's not the shift.
Uh-uh.
It's yeah, they get to a certain point, and then they just drop until their body, I guess, pushes them back
Pushes
up.
back up, like
Yeah. It's hard to, especially if they've been doing it for long, it's hard to train people out of momentum training.
yeah,
And
that's it. It's momentum, and I'm like, I
yeah,
don't get.
right. It's like, let's engage proper muscles here, people.
Yeah, I live in tension. Like I have
Right.
constant, just how I deal with everything.
Life in general. Life in general is constant tension.
Tense, just all the time. Everything's tight all the time.
Well, so, and then you've been doing strongman for how long?
Man, we were just talking about the other day. That is a really good question. So I want to say 2017 was my first. Steve would know because
Okay.
his Crown Mountain was my first competition, the first one he did in the BMX park that is like escaping me right now.
So
I,
when did you start training first for strongman?
Probably like 2017.
Okay.
That summer. Yeah, the gym that I was training out of at the time, there was a really big CrossFit presence. I kind of followed that strength training group that I met up with, and they found a gym, over by Centennial Airport here in Colorado, that had strongman. So I was like, okay. I started training strongman and got to know some of the girls, and they're talking me through my first comp. Like, hey, we're all doing this in July. You should come try it. I mean, I weighed like a $130. I had zero muscle mass. I could move weight. Like I wasn't a total scuba Steve. And I was
Right,
like,
but
oh,
you weren't as dense. You didn't have that
no, I
density.
was very small, very little lady.
So it's been about almost 6 years, roughly.
Yeah, yeah. Strictly strongman too. I mean, like I'll dabble in powerlifting training blocks because the
Right,
static strength that you gain from those blocks is stupid.
right.
Like, why wouldn't you? Also, it takes a lot of owies off of my joints for a little bit. It just feels good.
Yeah, because you don't have as much of the movement. You get to
I'm
just
not
stay
being
hyper
constantly
strength.
crushed in triple extension.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hyper extended with a stone on your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give my spine a break.
That's well, yeah, it's okay. So I want everyone to make sure that you follow the ticker at the bottom. Go to @Strongman Kim Squats with a Z at the end. Make sure you follow her, see all the cool stuff that she's going to have going on coming up. Go to @Kratos Strength Equipment. Check them out and everything that they've got putting on. And @Iron Titan Gym, I
Yep.
think is what it is.
Right.
It's a very cool setup, is what it looks like in there. I'd love to. I believe I'm coming to Denver in April.
Oh, awesome.
So
Yes.
so this is the announcement I'm going to make on at the end of this podcast here. So I'll be going in. There is. It's not a new fed; it's an old powerlifting federation. The oldest one there is the USPF. So we're getting that up and going in the state of Colorado and moving that forward with all the issues that there are with some of the other organizations. We've jumped in there. I just got my national referee certification.
Nice.
So there is a collegiate high school event
Okay.
mid-April on a Saturday, and then they're doing an open on Sunday. So I'll be down there for that should be down there for that to help referee those.
Awesome. Okay.
So yeah, I'll try and come check out
Yes.
the Iron Titan gym and see all the crazy shit you guys got going
Yeah,
on there.
everything. It's so cool.
And then also at the USPF, my gym here, Industry Strength, the plan is to host a USPF sanctioned meet in June. I believe it'll be June 11th this year. It's the day after the state Special Olympics. So we'll have the Special Olympics here on Saturday, and we'll be all out reffing and officiating that. And then the next day we'll do an open meet for powerlifting here. That's the plan.
Busy.
Yes.
Very busy.
Why, a job, a gym, clients, put on some meets. Yeah, right. Well, you know what? If I do enough stuff, I'm going to find something that sticks.
Yeah.
And so it's just the whole thing. Just throw enough shit at the wall and see what stays.
Well, that's like anybody. I mean, I'm an IT professional. I'm a product manager, but it's like, does anybody really know what they want to be when they grow up? I don't think so.
Well, yeah, you can have
things.
Most of our ideas when we're younger of what we want to do when we grow up are completely ridiculous, and
Ridiculous.
one in a million people have the opportunity to do that or be successful. And so you find something that pays the bills and then do the other stuff, hoping that something comes out of it.
That's it.
So that's what we do. And then, yeah, it's funny. I tell people, they're like, oh, well, what else do you have another job? And I'm like, you think this gym pays bills?
Yeah. Excuse me?
It pays for itself. Luckily. I mean, we've been
not making a couple $1 million a year.
No, not even, a hundredth of that. It's whatever my bills are times 12 is about what we're making every year.
Perfect.
And it's enough. It keeps the doors open. I get a train in a facility I like, around people that I enjoy.
Yeah.
We have cool people here of all types. The douchebags, if they do join, don't last long because this is not their environment. And
that's how you know, like, you're winning culture right there. We have the same deal where we're at.
Right.
Like, you can sign up, but I'll bet you'll be gone in a couple of weeks, because if you don't vibe with the rest of us, you're gonna know.
Yep. Yeah. People don't put up with that shit. They don't. You gotta drink that Kool-Aid instead.
That's right. It's better, less calories.
That's right. So it is. It's always fun to find. And I met Kate. Is it Kate or Katie? Katie. Mm-hmm. At the Crown Mountain. She's really cool. Is helping as many people as she can. And you always know when you meet the owner of a gym, you can always tell what their gym is going to be like.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm excited to be able to get down and kind of check your guys' place out. Just because
our owners follow all of us everywhere. Like, it's crazy. Like, at least one of them's with us. I mean, snacks, tacky, chalk, whatever. Like, we're very spoiled.
Hopefully I can get in the position where I can follow some people around in the events that they decide to take place in. It is, I have to say, a lot of times it is easier if you're in a larger capacity city.
Yeah.
Then the events are closer by. Most of our events are 4 hours away. Mm-hmm. Makes it a little more difficult. Being
Iowa was like 15 hours.
And they even showed up for that one, huh?
No, okay. I don't blame her on that one.
Yeah.
I did have to call her frantically though the night before it weigh-ins because I couldn't get my USS membership card to load on my phone. They're like, what do you call your gym members for? I'm like, because she has a file with all of our shit in it. And anytime we travel, she has all this information ready for us. Useless.
So they're still available. She was still there with you.
24/7. Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, Kim, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We will, like I said, I'm going to cycle through the 4 of you guys. I'm going to have you guys on so we can get an introduction, and I want to periodically have everyone on, and then we'll have topics and bullshit about topics and whatnot.
That sounds great.
Okay. And then for everyone else out there that's listening, watching, whatever the case may be, make sure you visit Pioneer Lifting Belts at generalleathercraft.com. Again, some of the coolest belt designs, especially that you'll find anywhere. Matt, who owns it, is a really cool dude as well. Likes to give, they put out a lot of money to competitors and to events, and they're about giving back to the people that give them money. So can't shy, you gotta support those who support you in return. And again, on the same token, maxbarbell.com, the owner I deal with directly is very cool, very quick. Customer service is great, and a lot of variety of products. So make sure you go there. And this guy might be an asshole, but go there anyway and check out his stuff. And that's at liftingugly.com, where you can get all sorts of cool shirts. Oh, and the shorts. You lost the vote on the shorts.
Damn it. That's okay.
But since you take priority now over the average person that voted that probably doesn't buy anything, I'm going to put them both out there, and I'm going to see actually which one people like more by which one they buy.
Okay.
And maybe I was thinking I might do a twofer. So like if you buy one pair, it's X amount. And if you actually like both of them, then you can get both for maybe a little.
That's a good idea.
Price.
Yeah.
I do like the way they both turned out. I agree with you. I was a little more partial when I found the red and black.
Yeah.
Just because it goes with the logo theme.
It's perfect. Yeah.
The stars were pretty cool, and I found that one. I was like, I think I like that one a little bit better. But anyway, so make sure you go to liftingugly.com, check out all the other stuff that we have there. We will be back next week with one of the other 3 members. And Kim, have a good rest of your day.
Thanks. You too.
And we will talk to you soon. Everyone else, we're out of here.
See ya.